Today we're taking a look at the 10 best trainer cards from Scarlet and Violet Paradox Rift, starting with number 10, Techno Radar. Techno Radar is an item card that reads, you can only use this card if you discard another card from your hand, search your deck for up to 2 future Pokemon, reveal them, and put them into your hand. Then shuffle your deck. If this card could be used for any Pokemon, it would immediately become one of the strongest item cards in the game, being played as a 4 of in every single relevant deck. This card adds immense power to future decks, allowing you to find the Pokemon you need and set up to play the game. As more future Pokemon are released during Scarlet and Violet, Techno Radar could easily climb higher on this list. Number 9, Future Booster Energy Capsule. Future Booster Capsule is a tool card that reads, the future Pokemon this card is attached to has no retreat cost, and the attacks it uses do 20 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. These effects make a massive difference in how you can build decks with future Pokemon, such as Iron Valiant, Miraidon, and Iron Hands. The free retreat allows you to use Iron Valiant's Tachyon Bits to place 20 damage counters without using switching cards. The additional 20 damage stacks with Iron Crown, allowing Miraidon to reach knockouts on basic Pokemon with a single energy attachment, and it also accelerates energy to your board. Iron Hands has a massive 4 retreat cost, and it becomes 0 with the Future Booster Capsule attached. The additional damage makes Ampu very much way more threatening to your opponent, so it has to be respected. As more future Pokemon are introduced to the game, this powerful tool card could easily be the reason future decks work. Coming in at number 8, we have Technical Machine Evolution. Technical Machine Evolution is a tool card that reads, choose up to 2 of your benched Pokemon. For each of those Pokemon, search your deck for a card that evolves from that Pokemon and put it onto that Pokemon to evolve it. Then shuffle your deck. TM Evolution is the ultimate turn 2 setup card. Using your first turn to evolve your Ralts into a Kirlia or your Dreepies into Draclox can allow you to evolve into a Gardevoir EX or a Dragapult EX during your next turn, completely bypassing a turn of setup. Pulling these Stage 1 Pokemon from your deck also gives you amazing draw power with Kirlia's Refinement that has you discard 1 card to draw 2, and Draclox's ability Recon Directive, which allows you to see the top 2 cards of your deck, keep 1, and place the other one on the bottom of your deck. This accelerates your normal setups by a full turn, removing the need for Rare Candy to reach Stage 2. This accelerated setup card can be the difference in winning and losing a match. Number 7, Luxurious Cape. Luxurious Cape is a tool card that reads, if the Pokemon this card is attached to doesn't have a rule box, it gets 100 additional hit points. And if it is knocked out by damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, that a player takes 1 more prize card. Adding 100 hit points to a Pokemon makes a massive difference in how versatile and how difficult it becomes for your opponent to deal with. Paired with Drifloon, for instance, you can add 8 additional damage counters, resulting in a ridiculous 240 additional damage potential, with a maximum of 480 damage overall. Absolutely crazy. The downside of giving up an additional prize card keeps Luxurious Cape from seeing more play in decks, when you could just play more powerful EX Pokemon with similar HP that also give up 2 prizes. Number 6 on this list, Ancient Booster Energy Capsule. Ancient Booster Capsule is a Pokemon tool card that reads, the ancient Pokemon this card is attached to gets 60 additional hit points, recovers from all special conditions, and can't be affected by any special conditions. The key part of this powerful card is the 60 additional hit points. Increasing cards such as Roaring Moon from 140 to 200 HP as a single prize basic Pokemon is a massive advantage. Increasing Raging Bolt EX from 240 HP to 300 HP as a basic EX Pokemon is absolutely crazy. Ancient Booster Capsule makes ancient Pokemon harder to knock out, which increases the overall power of the deck they are included in. Not being able to be put to sleep, confused, paralyzed, or any other special condition from being applied to your Pokemon is just an additional benefit. Number 5 on this list, we have Technical Machine Devolution. TM Devo is a tool card that reads, devolve each of your opponent's evolved Pokemon by putting the highest stage evolution card on it into your opponent's hand. With the rise in massive Stage 2 EX Pokemon, such as Charizard EX and Gardevoir EX with over 300 hit points, getting knockouts can be extremely difficult. Using TM Devolution to push them back down to their Stage 1 form, or even all the way back down to their basic form if a rare candy was used, makes knocking out these high hit point Pokemon much more manageable. The downside of TM Devolution is that it is discarded at the end of your turn and does not stay attached to your Pokemon, and honestly, sometimes it can put you behind in the prize card race. Coming in at number 4, we have Professor Sada's Vitality. Professor Sada provides 2 of the most powerful effects in the game with 1 card. Professor Sada's Vitality reads, choose up to 2 of your ancient Pokemon, attach a basic energy card from your discard pile to each of them. If you attached any energy in this way, draw 3 cards. Energy acceleration and draw support are extremely powerful, and this card would be higher on the list if it worked on any Pokemon, not just ancient Pokemon. If you have 0 basic energy in your discard pile, you're unable to play Professor Sada's Vitality, which is a massive drawback for a draw consistency supporter. Even with the downside of only working with ancient Pokemon and needing energy in the discard to work, Professor Sada's Vitality has been instrumental in numerous powerful decks, accelerating Dark Energy to Roaring Moon and Roaring Moon EX, Fire Energy to Gouging Fire EX, and Fighting Energy and also Lightning Energy to Raging Bolt has made these decks massive threats in the metagame that have to be accounted for. Coming in at number 3, we have Professor Turo's Scenario. Professor Turo is a supporter that reads, put one of your Pokemon in play into your hand. Discard all cards attached to that Pokemon. At first glance, this doesn't seem like a very powerful card, but its utility effect can swing a match back into your favor by removing damaged Pokemon from your active spot or bench before it can be knocked out by your opponent. High hit point cards such as Charizard EX can take advantage of Professor Turo by absorbing an attack, then being pulled from play and replaced by another Charizard EX, denying your opponent a knockout that could easily put you ahead in the prize trade to win the game. Another use for Professor Turo Scenario is to remove cards your opponent is trying to trap with control style decks. Pulling a card such as Lumineon V into your active slot while having Snorlax with the block ability can be an automatic loss without the ability to remove the card from your active spot. Professor Turo Scenario is a highly versatile card that's found a place as a tech card against the numerous control style decks and to remove 2 prize liabilities from your board. Coming in at number 2, Earthen Vessel. Earthen Vessel is an item card that reads, you can use this card only if you discard another card from your hand. Search your deck for up to 2 basic energy cards, reveal them, and put them into your hand. Then shuffle your deck. Earthen Vessel just misses out on being in the number 1 spot. Earthen Vessel is an extremely versatile card that allows you to search for any energy type from your deck and can be used in almost every single deck. The downside of discarding a card from your hand isn't always a bad thing. Thinning your hand of unneeded cards can help you draw into better cards later in the game with your draw engines such as Barrel and Kirlia. Removing a card from your hand also ensures you won't see it later if your opponent plays a card such as Iono to put your hand back into your deck. Earthen Vessel really shines in item-heavy decks that can utilize Pokestop and decks that play multiple energy types. Finding Lightning, Fighting, and Grass energy in a Raging Bolt deck or Metal and Water energy for a Goldingo deck with Earthen Vessel is the difference between being a viable deck and not being usable at all. Number 1, Countercatcher. There really was no competition for Countercatcher at the top of this list. Countercatcher is easily one of the most powerful and game-warping cards that can be added to the standard format of Pokemon. Countercatcher is an item card that reads, you can play this card only if you have more prize cards remaining than your opponent. Switch in one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to the active spot. If you're behind in prize cards, Countercatcher has the same effect as Boss's Orders, a supporter card I ranked as the second most powerful supporter card of all time. Since Countercatcher is an item card, you can still play a draw, utility, or disruption supporter during your turn. Countercatcher is the ultimate come-from-behind card, allowing you to punish your opponent for taking prize cards before you do. And let's be honest, Countercatcher is the main driving engine behind stall decks as well. Where would you rank the cards from the Paradox Rift set? Let me know down in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for more videos like this, and I'll see you in the next one.